Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. And this week I am taking a look at a little figure that I've been wanting to review for quite a while. Came out in January, February of early 2021, and that is the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Wrath of Krang figure. Now, this was an exclusive that came out to Target-only stores, and I was super excited when I first started seeing this pop up early on in the year. Number one, I love the box art. The first thing that this screams out to me is that this immediately reminds me of like those old FHE VHS tapes, you know, that we all watched and, you know, rented from Blockbuster or your local movie store that had all the different episodes of the Turtles. So you gotta love that little call out, how the NECA logo is in the same colors as like the FHE logo, and it even looks like a VHS box. So right on the front we have, of course, Krang and his android body, and we have Leonardo getting ready to fend him off, with Michelangelo on the side looking very understandably concerned with Krang and the Technodrome behind him. But this looks exactly like how those episode boxes look. So very, very cool. Huge call out to the artwork on that. Let's take a look at the other sides of the box. And as you can see on the side there, looks exactly, even the volume number 2. I mean, I love that. The artwork is so great to really call out to that. And then even on the back, very, very similar, as you would have seen like different scenes in the episode. And here you have the turtle blimp, all 4 of the turtles, and Android and Krang running away from the turtles. And then you have the different scenes here. You have Krang showing he's got the 2 morning stars. He's in his little walker suit. We got little baby Shredder here, and then Krang with some of his other weapons. And let's see what we got down the bottom here. It says, brains plus brawn make a calamitous combination in Krang's evil android body. The evil warlord from Dimension X has been banished to Earth. Living deep underground in his terrifying Technodrome, this mechanical monstrosity has real rampaging robot power. Just don't call him when he's in the shower. The bald, bad-bellied behemoth includes a brand new Krang figure, baby Shredder minifigure, 12 interchangeable hands and arm attachments, and loads more. So that gives you a few little hints and insights to what we're going to see when we open this bad boy up. And then on the side we have the same thing as we did on the other side. On the top, the Turtles logo. Nothing too special going on the bottom. Let's open this up and take a look inside and check that out right off the bat. Very, very cool. I like how this opens up, and just how you have this. This is a NECA-inspired kind of concept art. That's what that looks like to me. Although it almost looks like, if you didn't notice the hinges, it kind of looks like it's ripped right out of the cartoon show. And then we have Krang with all of his different accessories in here. And very nicely displayed, so if you want to keep this in the box, this looks great like this to open up like that. It's a really nice display piece. So now let's go ahead and we'll get this opened up and we'll take a look at it. Alright guys, so now we've got Krang and his android body all out of the package. And wow, is there a lot of accessories that comes with this. It is absolutely ridiculous. So first off, let's take a good close-up look at Krang's android body first. And now this guy, he stands probably, I would say, 7, maybe going on 8 inches tall. A pretty big figure. I like the different art style that this is drawn in, because the way the dark outlines, it has kind of like that comic book, kind of like the cel-shaded art look to it. He is very, very heavy. I would say he probably weighs maybe slightly over a pound. At least a good 3/4 of a pound. I would be surprised if he was under a pound. The color work is really nice. The really dark blacks really help to bring out some very nice contrast. You have the part here where Krang sits in, the little control unit, the hands, the face, his visor. They all seem very nice. I've heard some complaints about the paint wearing off when you go to interchange some of the accessories and hands and things like that. I can notice a little slight defect here on this one button. There's a little tiny chip of paint missing right out the gate, so A little bit of quality control issues there, but nothing too huge that you'd really notice off the bat. His articulation is pretty good. He can't move the shoulders. The shoulder pads are made of a rubbery material. I really like the face and his goggles. They're very cool. So you can move the arms almost all the way up, close to 180. The elbows. Now, the one thing I will say is these joints are extremely stiff. You can move them around to like the side and things like that. It's so weird seeing those lines. I'm afraid like his arms are gonna like pop apart, and I really hope I'm wrong. I hope that's just for art deco. And then we have with his legs. And I gotta say, as with a problem with a lot of newer figures nowadays, they're really hard to move. They're very stiff. The ankles seem okay once you get them set in place, but that's always a weak point with a lot of figures, since he's very top heavy, is that they will have a hard time standing. I mean, Krang in the cartoon, his legs really aren't quite this skinny, so I think that's a misstep on them, and they should have figured out a way to balance out the weight a little bit better, because something this big, I don't want him falling off a display, because he may break. You have the little handle in the back, the rest of his components, that's like a plug, I believe, so that way he can like power himself or connect to the Technodrome. He has like a vent for air, so that way Krang can breathe inside. The rest of his armor, because this would actually have a glass piece, like in the cartoon, that protects Krang, and he has the joysticks where Krang uses these to control the android, and they do move. They're neat. They pop out too, so be careful with them. And then he rotates pretty much 360 degrees, I believe. Yeah, he rotates all the way around. And the legs have some decent articulation, but again, like I said, they're stiff. So, I mean, you know, you can move the knees, the ankles, but I try not to really mess with it, because once you want to get him in a good position to be able to stand, and it can be a little bit tricky to find that sweet spot for him to stand without falling over. But right off the bat, the first thing I have to say that I love about this figure is the details on the face, the body, the armor. This really speaks to me as Krang. I don't think the centerpiece as much, because in the cartoons it was a little more blended. So I think they kind of messed up on that a little bit, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. So now let's take a look at the rest of the accessories that you get. And of course, we have Krang himself. A body, Shredder, get me a body. And very cool, some really fantastic detailing on here. I think the pink is a little too light. They should have used the more cartoony pink. But the mouth, the teeth, the eyes, you can move his little tentacles. I like the little paint on the brain lines. I think they should have done that all the way around, because that just kind of doesn't make sense to stop there. But I think he looks really good. That's a very nice little Krang. Very cool. And then you have, now this is cool. This is Baby Shredder, and he's actually from a TMNT episode where there's this episode with like the Fountain of Youth, and Shredder gets reverted back to a baby. So that's kind of a funny nod that they threw this in there. It's just like a little throwaway piece to the TMNT fans. I couldn't remember if this was from like, I know there's another episode too where Shredder, he gets like the retro mutagen ooze and then like reverts back to like Baby Shredder. So that's really funny, but this is a really nice little figure. Not too much articulation, just like at the legs and the waist, which is extremely stiff. There's his feet. And now you can move the arms. The spikes are nice, the head moves. So for a little figure, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Very nice. And then these are some funny accessories that we'll put together a little bit later on. You get a little felt towel. You're probably wondering, what in the heck is this thing for? Like, I did not know what that was for when I first saw it. This little thing, I didn't know what it was either. This is a soap on a rope, and it actually kind of feels like rope. Like, it's very, like, it really feels like leathery. It almost feels like real rope. And you have a towel, which I couldn't tell what this was. I thought it was some type of, like, headgear or something for him, like, you know, on, like, a military mission in the desert or so. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I was like, I did not remember. I mean, I saw it, but I just couldn't place what the heck it's supposed to be. So that's supposed to be a towel. And I'll explain those later as to what the heck they're actually for. They're kind of funny for another little nod to an episode. And then, of course, we got all of his weapons. So let's check this out. You got his, you got these 2 blasters that you can put in either of his hands. Some nice detail there with like the red looking like they're firing, the 2-tone blue and gray. So really nice. So this is really cool. All the weapons that you get this very nice little axe here. Very, very strong. These are made of a good sturdy plastic. Very, very nice paintwork on here. Because Krang's Android body, he could have all these different weapons that would always like pop out of him, kind of like Inspector Gadget or whatever. You have this spiral buzzsaw that actually spins around, which is very cool. And then these are really, really neat. These are actually like these like mace, or I guess you want to call them Morning Star or whatever, ball and chain, spiked ball and chain. And he has 2 of them, and it actually has a metal chain that's attached to it, which is really nice. And the spikes are very pointy. This kind of reminds me of like Mario Brothers, like the way it looks with the just the color. Kind of looks like something out of that world, like a Bob-omb or something. And that's neat. You get 2 of them, and they have some good weight to them. So those are fun weapons. And then you have different hands. There's 2 sets of different hands, and these are for, like if he's in like a grabbing pose, like if he's like grabbing, I guess like, you know, one of the Ninja Turtles or something like that. And then these have more of like, I believe this is for the laser pistols, I'm not sure. These other 2 hands. So I think they're just kind of more, not really to hold his accessories, because the accessories plug in, but I think they're just to give him like another look, which is really neat. Although the one problem I have with stuff like this is when you have this many accessories, you're inevitably going to lose them, so... And then he also comes with these 2 little blueprints, which I think are neat. He has a blueprint for the schematics of the Android suit, and like how that runs and stuff like that, so that's really neat, even though you can't read anything, but looks cool. And then this was a blueprint to another weapon that the Shredder and the Foot Clan used, and it was like some type of like turtle grabber. And, like, it looked like a spider, and the legs would grab on to like you know, the turtles and stuff like that. So very cool. You know, Krang and his nefarious plans. All right, so now let's go ahead and we'll put Krang inside here. And now the one thing you have to do with him, which this is going to look a little crazy, is you actually have to remove the waist and pop it apart. Because he can't fit inside through this gap. Oop, actually, I removed the wrong part. It is the top part of the waist that needs to be removed. There we go. Forgot about that. Let's put this back on. But that does come off, so I don't know why you'd want it to, but there we go. Got that a little mixed up there. And then there we go. There's Krang. Oh my god! What happened? And so then we just take Senior Krang. He has a little hole there. You just plug him onto the base. So he's nice and secure. Then it's a little tricky to get his tentacles around these, around the joysticks. I don't know if it'd be easier to pop them out first. Let me see. They do just kind of pop out. But it's like, I don't know if they will still... Yeah, they don't really line up in the first place. So they're just kind of there for show, which is kind of bizarre. Let's see if there's a way to position his arms. No, I don't think so. I mean, you might be able to kind of... Well, no, not really. He's not going to really be able to hold on to them. mean, it looks like he can hold on to maybe one. If you just move it out of the way. But I don't see him being able to hold on to both at the same time. And it's very, very small, not a lot of room to work with here. So again, another misstep by NECA, because I don't really see the point. I mean, it's cool that he can, I mean, he can grab like onto one of them right there, you can see. But why wouldn't you design the figure so that way, you know, he could grab onto both? I don't want to, I'm afraid I'm going to break that if I move that. Maybe if you take like a pen, you might be able to wrap it around the other one, but still, I think they could have done a better job with just making that more accommodating to have him look like he's operating the Android more. So that just seems kind of sloppy and rushed, if you want my opinion. There we are. Alrighty. Just put him back there for a second. Alright, and then we'll just add the last little piece here, which of course, he has a little antenna that goes on top, and they give you two of these. I guess they expect you're going to lose one because it's so darn small. And it just pops in at the top very snugly. And there we go. We have our complete Krang Android in its base form, which I gotta say overall looks really nice. That's a really nice little display piece. And I like how it's kind of smaller too. You don't really need like the, you know, the huge one, the vintage classic one, which is great, but it's nice if you don't have a lot of space. This still works just as well, you know, and gives you that same feel. So now let's try some of his different accessories. And you can kind of see there, like inside the hole of the arm, hard to see, there's a little bit of paint fleck left when I moved the arm around, and then when I popped that off. So not the best as far as the paint work. So let's switch out his hands. And then here he is with kind of like the fists. And I don't know what he can hold with these different types of fists. Let's just try something out here. Let's give him the axe. I think that's what this is designed for. But you can also put it in his peg, but that way you can give him the axe if you wanted to actually hold it in his hand there. But other than that, they don't really do anything. They're just kind of a nice little aesthetic piece. And then we can take and put the other ones, which are just the more open hands. Oops. There we are. There's Krang with the more open hand style. Kind of looks like he's using a force choke or something there. So they're kind of neat, but let's get to the real fun of it. Let's equip him with some weapons. Alright, so now let's hook him up with some of his weapons that he comes with. And first off, let's do his laser guns here. Let's check those out. Now, I was able to move Krang's tentacles a little bit. I just took like a pen and kind of moved them off to the side. And if you pull them out and then put them in afterwards, they will go in, but they are difficult to put in. So it is doable, but it is pretty darn hard. So with his guns now, all you do is just pop them into each of his little sockets there. And I gotta say, these sockets really, really stick. I don't think that they need to be such an unbelievably tight fit to where you practically rip the toy apart trying to remove the accessories. So that's another big problem. I mean, it's good that they have a good tight fit, but I don't think it needs to be quite that tight. But anyway, there we go. We got him with his iconic laser blasters here, or, you know, whatever the heck type of gun they are. And that looks really good. Looks very cool. So the whole theme, once you get it put together, it really looks nice. You can really see Krang there now. He's holding on to the controls a lot more. So that looks very, very good. Really liking that a lot. Alright, so now let's swap that out, and let's check out some of his other accessories here. And let's do his morning stars here. These are so cool. They kind of remind me from the TMNT 2 video game too, like when he's on the bridge. Like he was using something like that to attack the turtles. And now how cool is that? That is really, really cool. I really like that. It does add a lot of weight to the figure. But just looks so cool. You can just imagine him like swinging these things and like smashing into everything. So very, very fun. That's a really cool accessory. And then we can give him his buzzsaw blade here. Check that out. Now he's ready to do some damage. Look at that thing. Very, very cool. Just get that spin. Very nice. Very nice. That's cool. Like that a lot. Alright, so now let's put his regular hands back on, and then I'll show you the last two accessories that he comes with. Okay. And so that is the mystery of what is all this stuff over here. Well, like it said on the back of the box, there is an episode where Shredder calls Krang, like on his little communicator, and Krang is getting out of the shower. So what this is a towel that he's wearing on his head. He has a towel that he's also wearing as he's getting out of the shower. And this is a little soap on the rope. And so we take the little antenna off here. And you put the soap on a rope over top. Put the little towel over his head. And there's a little hole for the antenna to go through, so that way it doesn't like wobble around or fall off. I guess you don't have to have that on there, but you can if you like. And then we just take this little felt towel, and there's nothing to hold it on, but you just wrap it around, and like little static electricity or whatnot should get it to kind of cling to itself. There we go, and look at this goofy little throwaway scene from the old TMNT cartoons. Have Krang getting out of the shower. Shredder, why are you calling me? That's just so goofy. So that's a really silly, fun little thing if you want to display your Android Krang, you know, being annoyed with Shredder calling him, talking about the Technodrome being destroyed, or something stupid with Bebop and Rocksteady, and Krang is throwing a fit, like, why are you calling me? So very, very silly. Now let's just put him back in his base form here. There we are. But yeah, there's just so many accessories that come with this figure, and I would recommend like leaving them in the box or something. Just figure out how you're going to display them, and then keep that box so that way you don't have to worry about losing all the accessories, because there is just so much stuff that's going on with this figure, which is good and bad because it's a lot to lose. Alright, well anyway guys, that's going to do it for this review of the NECA, the Wrath of Krang and Android Krang figure. I think it looks really great. I know these are kind of hard to find now because they were, you know, at Target in the beginning of the year, and they, you know, most of them are not in stores anymore, so you really can't find them as much anymore. But I don't think they're that expensive online. If you still look around, you can still find them. You know, some Targets may have a few left over on the shelves. And, oh, you know what, actually, I almost forgot. We didn't do his X. So there we go. And Krang will wave goodbye as he is holding his axe in his other arm. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this quick review at the NECA TMNT Krang and Android body, the Wrath of Krang. I think it's a really great figure. A ton of accessories that come with it. It's an awesome display piece. Definitely, if you can pick one up, add it to your collection, and I will see you guys next time.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.